All right, the GOAT is here.
Not the goat.
The GOAT, come on, man. Thanks for coming, doing the a little different last time. It's been a couple years since we've had you on the English side. We had you on Spanish last year. We have lights this time. You don't have to hold the microphone. You have to wear a headset.
I like your setup.
Thanks,
I like
man.
the setup, man.
You do-
You're
but-
definitely upgrading. That's for sure.
Thanks, man. Good to see you. Thanks for doing this. How's the off season been for you?
Oh, it's been busy. It's been super busy. Just trying to manage different loads with my workouts, with coaching, my family. Obviously, that's the most important thing. My kids going to practice, sessions, school. It's been a lot. It's been a lot busy.
How has been watching Roman play? I know you've been really enjoying that.
Watching him play is probably one of my biggest joys. Going out there and seeing him enjoy the game and work hard and just have fun. That for me is the most important thing. He's been doing it forever, and it's the only sport he's basically ever played. Now he's really into basketball as well, and he's a big Kings fan, I think. So
Does that hurt you?
I don't know. He was a Laker fan, but now he's always asking me to go to games, and I'm like, dude, you're a Laker fan, you can't come, But I think he's a Kings fan deep down inside.
I mean, he spent a lot of time here. It makes sense.
Yes, you're right.
Well, I'm excited to have you on because there's a lot we can talk about going into 2024 season, which is exciting. But I wanted to start with just the off seasons. I know you're doing more coaching, helping out with the academy. What has that been like for you?
Well, it's been great, especially to be able to coach players with that caliber. Very talented young men that go out and just work hard every day. If you go out to their sessions, they take every play as if it was their last one. Like, they are getting into tackles. They don't complain. They just go about it, and it's great to watch. And just to have that and their talent and the good coaching out there, for me, it's been, a learning experience. And obviously I want to become a coach after I'm done playing. So, taking that step forward and taking that step to help our academy for me has been beneficial. And I appreciate, obviously, Eder and the coaches, Ivan especially, that's, the head coach of the teams that I'm assisting. I thank them for having me and for obviously, teaching me things that I need to learn before I take that next step.
Well, but you kind of had a little bit of that experience as a captain, right? Because you're on the field, and I've actually noticed it more this past year when you were out on the field. Is like it seems like the game is slowing down for you in a way, and you are thinking methodically throughout the game more often. Is that something you've noticed about yourself as well?
Yeah, being out this last season for a majority of the season, I was able to get closer to the coaching staff and to Mark and Coach Deach, which those two I've learned so much from, and Mark especially the last 2 years that I've worked with them, and just seeing the game from different angles and different perspective. He had me in charge of the game scouts throughout that injury, so I was watching a lot of games, and studying a lot of our opponents. But most importantly, I was able to see, things from a different side and see my teammates in ways that I hadn't seen before, because I've always been used to being on the field and you kind of get lost in just being there and the adrenaline and working hard with them. But, seeing it from outside is totally different.
What was like some of the biggest difference you noticed about certain teammates?
Just things they do on the field, things they like to do on the field, things they don't like on the field. Just I'll give an example, like Russell, the runs that he makes, when he makes them, how he makes them, they're very dangerous, and I feel like, we had a few guys who could get him the ball, but towards the end, I feel like he needed more of that, and he needed someone to feed him more, because off the ball, his movement is probably best in the league.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And I'm sure going into this next year, right, that's going to only help you understand them not only in training but during matches as well.
100%. I'm really looking forward to it next season, especially now that I've been able to have an off season. training program. I didn't have an off season last year, and I didn't have a preseason, quite frankly, maybe like 2 weeks of it. So now, I'm looking forward to this and hopefully having a healthy preseason that could, lead me to a good season.
Well, you talked about last year. You have the off season that you said you don't really have because you're rehabbing, and then you come back, get injured again. I know we've talked about this a little bit, but I think it's important for people to know just how, because all of us were just devastated. I imagine for you, it had to be just incredibly tough to go through.
Yeah, it was honestly some of the worst days of my life. I'm lucky I have my family with me, friends who care about me and teammates who obviously were there for me as well. But for me, it was, the first couple of days were really hard. But then after, I had to turn the page. I had to turn all of that into something positive. And I killed my rehab. I killed it. I told myself I wouldn't put myself down or let myself, end my career the way with that injury. And I was doing 3-a-days every day for 2-3 months. So I appreciate obviously Katie's help, Luke's help, Dave's help, our medical staff who took care of me throughout that whole time. I appreciate them being there for me. But it was definitely really tough for me and especially mentally. So, now I'm just, trying to stay healthy. One, I need to listen to my body, but I also need to listen to my coaching staff, my training staff, because I think, I don't know if Mark's ever told you, but I had been coming out as a sub maybe 80th minute, 75th minute prior to that game. And I was upset. I was always upset because I felt like my body could go more, mm-hmm. and it wasn't anything personal to Mark or to my teammates, but it was just me, just my competitive side and the leadership side of me that wanted to keep going. But that game, he decided to leave me. He was going to sub me maybe like 5 minutes before the injury. And, I think I've always been a believer that things happen for a reason. God sent this injury my way for a reason to test me, I believe, and I was able to get through it.
Well, I know you're talking about people being there for you, but one of the things that I thought was so cool about it is throughout, I would say the first 2 to 3 months of when you're out, I would have guys on the podcast. We would talk about, I don't know, whatever it was, and every single time you came up. I can't tell you how much he's been a part of practice, even though he's injured. Like, he's out training every single day. He's still our leader and still our captain. And that shows how great of a teammate you are, but how great of a person and a leader you are. So I thought that was one of the coolest things about the injury. So, and I mean, a lot of people, I know you very well, and so that's not necessarily surprising, but you could tell from maybe some of the guys who didn't know that or didn't know you that well, that completely stood out to them.
Yeah, and for me, it was, being able to impact the team in ways that, I know I couldn't be there to talk much or to express what I felt, but just to see me grind and work hard and doing my 3 sessions a day and putting my work in the gym, all that stuff. I think for me, I wanted them to see that and relate off it, because ideally we have very good teammates. We have very good leaders on the team, not just me, but we have Conner, we have Lee, mm-hmm. who are our captains. And, those type of guys were the guys who kept that ship going, and obviously with the leadership of Mark ahead of everyone. But those were the guys who really kept that locker room close, and I feel like the success we've had is because of that, because of the leadership we've had and how close we are as a team.
And we talked about continuity a lot this offseason, going into with a lot of returning guys. That's just got to feel really good that you know what to expect going into 2024, right?
I feel great about the team. Don't get me wrong. My expression wasn't, doubting our team. It's more that I feel like this year is going to be the hardest year for us. It's going to be a tough season. I believe in our players, and I believe we'll still be on top of the league. But it's going to be time for us to grind even more and mm-hmm. to stick together even more, because I feel like there's going to be a bit more rough times than we've gone through the last 2 years.
Sure.
Just because teams know us, teams, started to kind of know how we play, and their tactics were built around our team. So
Sure.
I feel like coaching staffs are working hard towards that to break us down somehow. And like I said, this year's going to be a lot tougher, but I'm honestly really excited. One, because I don't feel like we've had too many signings. So
Right.
for me, that just shows the trust that Todd, the ownership, and Mark have in us, and the guys who are coming back. It just shows that they really trust us, and they believe we're the players to get through this and to obviously hopefully win a championship.
I want to go back a little bit to the injury aspect. So you get injured. How early on in the process did you circle the Hughes match as that you wanted to make that your return that game?
Oh man,
Because that was a motivating factor for you, right?
It was definitely motivating for me. And at first, when I went to my appointment after my MRI, Dr. Haas said it would be 3 months if I had surgery. It would be 2 months without, 3 months with. But those 3 months weren't really 3 months. Like Katie was like, look, he does surgeries on normal people. Professional athletes have to rehab, have to make sure they're okay, make sure they could get back to training safe and to play. So she had told me 5 months, and I think it was around 4 months that I came back.
Yeah.
I think like a month in, I told Katie, hey, I want to play in that game, if possible. I don't want to put any pressure on anyone. I don't want to put pressure on Mark, but my goal, whether I play or not, is to be healthy for that game.
Yeah.
And she said it was going to be really hard, or it's going to take a lot of work, but I put the work in and I was able to do it.
How what was that feeling like coming into that game? You not, I mean, take the score aside.
Yeah.
But you come into the game and like it's like you're coming back moment of I worked so hard to get to this moment, and it's here, and it's a pretty big moment for the club as well, having you come back, play the game. I would say, I don't know if this is true or not, but in my opinion, like 50% we played that game was because you're on the team, you played there, you won.
Yeah.
The storyline around that in general was so incredible. So seeing you return, even though we were down 2-0, like for me and I think for a lot of fans, it was just as a big moment. It meant just as much.
No, I get goosebumps every time I think of it, and Roman always mentions it to me how that was his favorite game. And I asked him why. I was like, why? There's been so many great games to watch. The Open Cup, and I don't think he remembers the championship much, but he said it was just having you back in front of so many people, and after you work so hard to get back. I think for me that's special. For him to see it, and obviously he sees a lot of the things that I go through and the things that I do to get my to keep my body good and to be able to play at a high level. So for him to say that to me just means a lot more. So the scoreline wasn't what I expected, and I know there was fans already walking out of the stadium, but it was still really, really amazing for me to be back that game.
Yeah, because at that point the score was kind of irrelevant, but it was mostly just about this guy worked his tail off to get here to play back at this place. What did you remember? Before the goals were given up, but like, what do you remember about the atmosphere sitting on the bench, knowing that you're on the 18? You have a feeling you're gonna play. Like, were you heart racing? And everything?
I was just hoping we'd win that game, just because of all the fans we had, and it just brought me back to 2014. Knowing that after that game in Hughes, the first game we ever played there, I knew that the city was in for something special, in the soccer community. So, being able to witness it with my teammates this year was awesome, and I really wanted a victory. Just more than me playing, I wanted them to win, so the fans could come back and see all of that. So, at the end of the day, we didn't win, but for me, it was still a special night.
But down the stretch, following that game, I think it was like 5 of 6 sellouts. The fan support at the end of the season was, I feel like, something we haven't seen before. I mean, it was incredible. Game after game, the crowd was going nuts into the playoffs, even before the playoffs started. What was that like to just feel the the intensity in the building grow game after game.
Yeah, it gives us a push all the time, and it gives us a lot of motivation. And
Because not to interrupt, but like
Yeah.
you when I see you training, like where are we at? Like, because you guys want that. You guys want the
we
city
love
behind
it.
you.
We
Yeah.
feed off it, and we at least we try to feed off it,
Right.
and it motivates us in ways that maybe fans don't really understand.
But when you hear, oh, it's a sellout.
Oh
like-
no, it's amazing. Guys get so excited, and I think we even prepare a little bit different. We like Fridays, everyone's buzzing, everyone's excited, and
Yeah.
the ball's ticking and scoring goals. And Fridays I know for a fact it's Jared's favorite day, but
Why is that?
I don't know. You could ask him next time. You have
Okay,
him
I'll
on the-
ask
on
him.
the
I'll ask
podcast.
I'll ask
But
him.
he loves Fridays. So do I. I mean, they're just fun.
Yeah.
You get to play a lot, and they're short, and it's intense. I know I say fun, but it's really intense, and it's competitive. So, we love those days, and it's obviously a day prior to a game, and hearing that it's a sellout, we just imagine the next day being sold out and having those fans behind us.
Is there any sort of moments last year you can think of, or even last couple years, where you're able to take a step back from a match, and you can think about, man, look at the support, look at all these fans who are here. Are you so focused in the moment that you have a hard time, or you aren't able to do that? You don't allow yourself to do that because you're so focused in the moment on the game.
Yeah, I think you're more focused in the game. For the semifinal match, I actually, I was on the bench, but I was thinking that. I was thinking, how great our support is, how
Yeah.
united this club has made this community, and how people love coming out to watch us play and be in that stadium. So, those are the times that maybe I might think about it a little bit more as I'm on the bench and there's a national anthem playing and the fans are going crazy. But once you're on the field, it kind of goes away.
Yeah.
You have to focus on
Right.
what the game is and what you're gonna do to help your teammates.
So we head into 2024. It feels like really ever since you returned from the first time and the third time, there's just been crazy moments, like historic moments. You have Open Cup, multiple. You have the San Jose goal, the PK against Sporting Kansas City. I forgot. Let me go back. The LA Galaxy goal in the first couple minutes. Can I tell you an Adam Moffat story about that game? So
Yeah.
Moffat, I'm sitting next to him. You played with Moffat
I did.
in Portland, so you know him
Yeah.
well. I'm sitting next to him. You guys haven't touched the ball yet. It's probably 2.5 minutes in that game. And he goes, "This is what an MLS team looks like." And I was just like, all right, man. And then immediately counterattack goal. And I was just yelling at him.
Oh man, Adam Moffat, what a guy!
Love that guy. But anyway,
I
just
love
wanted-
him too. I love him too. Yeah.
Um,
keep going.
But you've had so many moments throughout your career in Sacramento. Just all I can think about it, and the Hughes moment, for instance, like what keeps you motivated after having all these moments of like, all right, what's the next one, or how do I create the next one, or is it just more day to day? How do you even think about that?
I don't think about those moments or trying to do anything special. I just think about helping the team out and in some way, winning. I'm a winner. I like to win. I hate to lose. I'll tell you that. Roman will tell me that. My wife will tell you that. I hate losing in anything. It could be cards. It could be anything, So for me, it's just more about winning. And, I've told many people this, and you might know, but I owe a lot to the city. A lot. And especially to this club. Even for me, 2020 was historical, because we
Right.
went through something that
Right.
we had never gone through in our lives. It might not have been good, but I was here, and
Right.
it happened. So, being able to come back and that Open Cup run and, all those moments I had to contribute for me is just, my competitive side, just trying to win.
Yeah, the 2020 season, I think last time we had you on, we talked about the 2020 season a lot and how it was hard for you as a family man trying to balance everything while being a pro soccer player. I mean, if people can go listen to that if they want to hear that story, because there's a lot in there. But we head into 2024, a lot of guys coming back, a couple new signings, some pieces to fit in. What is the thing you're most looking forward to about going back to war with a lot of the same guys who you guys were at the top of the West for almost the entire year in 2023?
Man, I could tell you right now, these guys are hungry. These guys are hungry. I could still tell you that these guys aren't over what happened last season, and I know for a fact I'm not. And, I want to push myself to another limit. I want my teammates to push each other. I want myself to push them as well in good ways, because we were so close to a championship, and I was really devastated, not just for me, but for every single one of those players and staff, because we worked so hard throughout the season, and we were the best team by far throughout the season. And, to lose a game like that was probably the worst feeling ever. So I know for a fact that these guys are going to come in super hungry, super motivated, and just, wanting to get season started. And I know it's going to start from day one next Wednesday in preseason.
Are you looking forward to the preseason training, getting right in?
I am.
Yeah? Even the conditioning?
Yeah, I love the conditioning.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think a preseason is meant for players to struggle a little bit, to go through those moments where you're tired, and it's a time to, build your body up for a season. So I've always taken my preseasons really serious. I love the hard work. I love, have the feeling of not being able to run a little longer. Like, I love that, I love being sore. So for me, it's a blessing. I'm 36 years old, still doing this, and I'm going to do it as long as I can, hopefully. But I'm going to take it day by day and enjoy every single session.
Do you enjoy, I should say, appreciate every single game more? I guess obviously following the injury, but, you've played a lot of matches. Do you appreciate every single minute, every single match, even the conditioning more than maybe you did when you first started?
I do. I don't want to take anything for granted. I want to enjoy every single session, to be honest, whether it's a video session, whether it's time with my teammates on the road, whatever it is, I want to enjoy it. And I'm like I said, I'm truly blessed to still be doing this, and I'm thankful. So, as long as I could run and kick a soccer ball professionally, I'm going to enjoy every single moment of it.
Well, I just want to point out, because we told the Moffitt story earlier. I love making fun of Moffitt. He's got to be one of my favorite people to make fun of. He's 34, I believe. You're 36.
He's older than me.
Is he?
I
No,
think
I'm
so.
I'm pretty sure he's younger.
Really?
Yes, because I think last year we talked.
He's 37.
He looks 37. He looks.
No comment, Adam.
You laughed.
No comment.
You laughed. Well, dude, I'm fired up. I'm fired up to see you back on the field in 2024. Seeing you return last year was incredible. When I heard in the office, there were some rumblings about the Hughes date is circled. I was like,
The what?
the Hughes date
Yeah.
of the match
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
circled. Like, this is when he's gonna try and make it. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
So it was incredible, even though the result didn't go the way. But seeing you return was a very cool moment for me. I think for a lot of fans who were there.
Sure.
And I know you put in a ton of work. That's the thing. I mean, everyone talked about it, how hard you worked, how much you were there for your teammates. It's truly incredible. That's one of the reasons I want to have you on, because, yeah, we've told some stories in some video, but like having you really go in depth and tell us about it is it's cool, man. And you're just a grinder, and I can't wait for the season coming ahead for you.
I appreciate it. I know we're going to have a good season, and I hope we still have the support that we had last year, and hopefully build on that, because we are, as a team, we're going to grind every day on that field. And I know Mark's ready to put us through hell right now to get us ready for a season. And like I said, it's going to be an even harder season. So I think we need to push ourselves to different limits. We need to do something different in order to climb that ladder and climb, that mountain to hopefully one day be on top and lift another trophy for this club.
I love it. The GOAT, Rodrigo Lopez. I'm just so excited we had you on, man. It's been too long, 2 years. I'm sorry.
It's been way too long.
You do a lot of stuff.
I know
for us.
you
We
like
did TV.
Conner. I know Connor's your favorite. I get it.
Well, here's what happened. We want to talk about that.
He's older than me, by the way, as well.
He's the same age as me, I think.
How old are you?
28. I think he's
Oh,
28.
no, he's like 42, bro.
He told me that he wanted to, when he finished, do a podcast about USL stories that he can't tell initially. And I was like, well, come co-host, man, because I've always wanted to like have it be like, I was like, hey, let's interview Mark together, and he's like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, come on, man, it'd be fun. Anyway, but yeah, I do like Conner, but come on. I've known
No,
you a
I
long
love
time,
Conner.
man.
Conner's amazing.
He's a good quality dude.
He's
Yeah.
a quality dude. He's a good leader. He's just always so positive, and you know the way he works on the field as well, and reads the game and holds that back line for me is, you know, it's definition of a true leader. Him and everyone else in the back line. I think that's going to be our strength. I think, you know, our best days or best games are because we have really good defense, you know, and a good goalkeeper, I guess. So
New dad.
he's a new dad. Congrats, Danny. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks good, by the way.
Yeah.
Looks very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I know what I was going to ask. Here's why. We don't always ask you to come on, because you do so much content media stuff. Whereas like you came and did the TV show when we did that before the Fuse game. Yeah. You do a lot of video stuff. You do a lot of promo stuff. So it's like, listen, I don't want to heavy your load too much. You know?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I do have a family. I have,
Yeah.
you know, my wife, my 2 kids, and they keep me super busy. But like I said, whenever I have time, I'm always welcome to come. I'm always happy to be here, and I love this office, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We
been
love
home for me.
Yeah, man. We love having you. So thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in and doing
you.
this, man.
Thank you, guys.